Hey everybody. So as we continue along doing season previews for all 31 NHL teams, today we're going to look at the Vegas Golden Knights. Before we get into the video, I just quickly want to say that if you enjoy this video, please make sure to hit the like button and give it a thumbs up. That really helps out the channel a lot. And if you're not yet a subscriber to this channel, please hit that subscribe button for great hockey content all year long. So Vegas went to the Stanley Cup final in their first ever season, made the playoffs last year and lost to San Jose in the second round. Continues to be a very good team, continues to be one of the best teams in the Pacific Division. And looking at their lineup heading into this year, I expect things to be pretty much the same as it's been with the Vegas Golden Knights. One thing I will say is this team has certainly lost depth. They're right up against the salary cap. They're very, very tight against the cap. They've certainly lost some depth. Just this past offseason, they've lost Erik Haula. They've lost Ryan Carpenter. They've lost Colin Miller off the back end. They don't have a ton of great depth outside of their starting NHL lineup. But, assuming they stay relatively healthy, this team should be one of the top teams once again, certainly in that Pacific Division. So let's take a look at a lineup here. Now, again, lineups are fluid. They change a lot. Line combinations change. Guys may not end up in this spot in the lineup. I just threw a lineup together based on, the players. And overall, it looks pretty good. I mean, still, yes, they've lost depth, certainly in their bottom six, but their top six forward group is still absolutely phenomenal. Either one of these lines could be counted as the first line. I really don't know which one is the first line and which one is the second, because they both have the potential to produce at a first line rate. But to start, we have Max Pacioretty, Paul Stastny, and Mark Stone. Say that that's the top line. Second line then is Jonathan Marchessault, William Karlsson, and Riley Smith. That line can produce just as much offensively as the top line can. We could see multiple 30 to 40 goal scorers out of this team. We could see multiple 70-point guys out of this team. I think their top six forward group is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. One of the best top six groups in the league. Maybe even the best. I know there are some other teams that could give them a run for their money. Tampa Bay certainly comes to mind, but very, very good for Vegas in the top six. Third line, Brandon Pirri, Cody Eakin, and Alex Tuch. Not a bad third line there. Pirri's kind of moved up in the lineup because they've lost some guys, particularly Ryan Carpenter and Erik Haula, who have left holes on that third and fourth line. But Pirri, I think, can be a good enough player. And then Tuch and Eakin are pretty good. So they can definitely perform at a high enough level. I mean, those are two 20-goal guys on your third line. So I'm not worried about having Pirri on the left side. And then the fourth line, Tomas Nosek and Ryan Reeves are your wings like they were for much of last year. And I put Cody Glass in the middle. Really don't know who else would play the middle on that line. It's kind of... it's going to be a young guy. It's going to be a prospect unless they make a veteran signing before the season starts, but they really don't have the cap space to do that. So put Cody Glass in the middle for now. Moving on to the defense, Brayden McNabb and Nate Schmidt, your top pair. I mean, those two have been phenomenal together. John Merrill and Shea Theodore is your second pair. Now, Merrill was kind of a bottom pair guy last year. He's going to have to move up in the lineup most likely with Colin Miller gone. Shea Theodore, we know what he can do offensively. Very, very good player. And then your bottom pair, I have Nick Holden and Derek Engelland together, although Jimmy Schultz could end up taking Holden's spot on that bottom pair. I don't know a whole lot about this Jimmy Schultz guy. He didn't play for Vegas last year, so we're going to have to see the preseason and training camp and see how he turns out. But, it's going to be him or Holden in that lineup, and the other one will be the seventh defenseman. Engelland, obviously a veteran, tough guy, defensive defenseman, but really strong leader and player for this team still. And then in goal, Marc-Andre Fleury, obviously the starter, and Malcolm Subban once again back as the backup. So overall, this is a good team. Also, William Carrier would be the extra forward with this lineup. Overall, this team is a very good team. I do have depth concerns. I think they could run into issues if they run into injury problems. But with the lineup intact, this is a top team in the league for sure. Certainly one of the best teams in the Pacific Division. That top six is just absolutely outstanding. I cannot rave about that top six forward group enough. I mean, Pacioretty, Stastny, Stone, Marchessault, Carlson, Smith, all those guys could be big-time 50 to 60 plus point producers. Big-time, Stone, I mean, you got to be guaranteed 30 goals from Mark Stone. Riley Smith can score 25 to 30. Jonathan Marchessault can score 25 to 30. Pacioretty could be a 30 to 40 goal guy. Assuming they stay healthy and play, at least, 75 or so games each, we could see big-time point totals out of this team's top six. And then, you got 220 goal guys on the third line. There's good offense in this group, without a doubt, when they're healthy. It's going to be about staying healthy with this team, similar to Arizona. They've got to keep, this lineup, for the most part, intact. Fourth line, Ryan Reeves is one of my favorite fourth liners in the league. Tomas Nosek, William Carrier can come in and be a physical player. We've seen him do that, especially in the playoffs. The forward group, I think, is good. You have a good extra guy with Carrier. I think if they lose someone down the middle, I think that would be an issue because they're not overly deep at center. I think their top three centers are very good in their roles, but if you lose one of them, I think you start to have a problem there down the middle. So they're not overly deep down the middle, but overall, this forward group is very, very good. You're going to get offense out of this team, that is for sure. Defensively, they've definitely taken a hit on the defensive side. Losing Colin Miller out of this defense certainly hurts for them. But again, we don't know what we're going to get with this Jimmy Schultz guy. I really don't know anything about him. If he can step in and be a top four defenseman, that could really help out. You could play him with Shea Theodore, knock Merrill back down to the bottom pair, which he's probably a little more suited for. And if you do that, I mean, you've got, Holden as your seventh guy, and defensively you're still in pretty good shape. They don't have a ton of depth on the back end, which scares me a little bit, but their 1 through 6, or really 1 through 7, is not awful right now, just not as good as it was, say, their first year in the league. And then goaltending, I mean, Marc-Andre, not even a question. Marc-Andre Fleury, one of the best goalies in the league. Subban, I'm not a big Malcolm Subban fan. He wasn't great for Providence when he played in the Bruins organization, but he's been decent as the backup there in Vegas. Now, he's certainly not a guy that I think is going to take over the full-time starter role if Fleury gets a major injury and can't play 60 games. I think you're going to see at least 60 games out of Fleury again. He is clearly the number one guy. And as long as he stays healthy, he's one of the best goalies in the league, and this team is going to be in good shape. So overall, I really like this Vegas team. I think they're going to be a playoff team again. I think they should compete for the division win in the Pacific Division without a doubt. They should be at least right up there competing for it, and certainly will be in the playoffs, and one of the better teams in the league once again. So yes, they're right up against the salary cap. They're having some salary cap problems, but George McPhee's done a marvelous job of keeping most of this team together. They've certainly lost some depth over the last couple of seasons just because of the salary cap, but the top talent is still there. The goaltending is certainly still there. And overall, they have a good forward group, a good solid defense, and a great goaltender. Well, they have a great forward group, a good defense, and a great goaltender. This is a very good team. So I expect big things from Vegas again this year, and I look forward to watching them play because I think they're going to be a really fun team to watch, and they're going to score a lot of goals. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.